Evening and welcome to the Guilderland Central School District's Board of Education meeting. Today is September 10th. Can everyone please silence their cell phones and stand for the pledge?
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'll turn it over to Marie Wiles.
Good evening, everyone. To start the meeting, I have a brief statement I'd like to share. We are aware of recent public statements by one or more parents expressing concern about the lack of a safety plan for a student returning from school from a period of suspension. To begin, it is not accurate to assume the district does not have a full and adequate safety plan in place. The district has a detailed safety plan with the purpose of protecting both the returning student and all other students and staff. We cannot fully share the specific details of the plan, but it does provide, in part, increased supervision by adults. Conversations have occurred with several parents who have contacted the district, during which we assured them of the existence of a safety plan. However, we are constrained by law not to discuss any more details or specifics of this particular student's situation. It would be a disservice to that student and so a violation of the law. Maintaining confidentiality is an essential safety component, and specific laws, such as the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, have been enacted to protect the privacy of all students as it pertains to their educational records. The law prohibits the district from releasing confidential student information, including discipline records, instructional plans, and other records. In addition, the district has established its own policies, protocols, and procedures to ensure student-centered situations remain confidential and are managed appropriately. While more specific details cannot be disclosed, we assure our students, staff, and school community that there are protocols and plans in place to address the specific needs of each situation. The safety and security of all students and staff is the utmost importance to the Guilderland Central School District. Our top priority is to ensure that all students and staff feel welcome and secure in their learning environments. We highly value the trust families place in us to ensure their children can learn safely and productively while they are in our care. We are committed to upholding this vital responsibility and will continue to collaborate with our stakeholders, including law enforcement, to provide a safe learning experience for all. In sum, the district is making every effort to follow the laws that govern it while protecting the safety and privacy of all students. Thank you.
Okay, and as we begin public comment, I have a statement to read as well. It's one that we always read. The Board of Education encourages public participation at its meetings and recognizes its responsibility to hear public comment. An acknowledgement of the public comment, either orally or in writing, will be provided as appropriate after the meeting. As a matter of practice, the Board of Education does not engage in dialogue during the public comment period. There will be 2 opportunities at each regular board meeting for public comments to be heard. Comments will all be limited to 3 minutes. Linda, will you be timing tonight? Thank you. And although the Board of Education welcomes comments about programs offered by the district and other aspects of the district's operation, the board expressly prohibits public comment that would infringe on a particular person's or student's privacy rights, would be disruptive of the board meeting, or create some safety issue, e.g. those types of speech which are not protected by federal or state freedom of speech rights. Persons who desire to speak to the board about specific issues relating to employees or other confidential matters should request an executive session in a letter to the board president, briefly outlining the issues to be discussed. Granting such requests will be at the discretion of the Board of Education. So with that, I think we should start with the public comments that are in person. William, I'm sorry, it starts with a C, is it? Pritchard, thank you. Thank you.
So I just do want to touch. My name is William Pritchard. My daughter Skylar, which some of you may or may not know, I believe you might know, the last name rings a bell, is a student here. So my question is regarding to the comment that Superintendent Wiles just said. So can you please explain to me and probably a few other people why it wasn't deemed appropriate just to allow the whole school as a process, the parents of these children, to know that this child was coming back? Names don't need to be given. I understand this child has a right to a proper education. I'm all for it. You don't think it's fair to the other students to let them know, their parents know, that there is a child in the school, excuse me, that this has happened to when it was already public information to begin with back in February by the Guilderland Police Department? That's question number one. And number two, the bothersome part for me the most is, what about the mental health of those kids who were, one, on that list, and two, the kids who weren't on that list who know about it because kids talk? My daughter specifically, because my daughter sits near this boy. That's a problem. So as much as you guys are concerned about taking care of this child and his education, okay, homeschooling works. COVID proved that. I guarantee it. I don't think it's fair that you allow this child to come back in with this situation. Georgia right there is living proof. The FBI, the greatest police force in the world, couldn't stop that from happening. And now you're allowing it to possibly happen here. But yes, it could happen any day to anybody, any kid. But you have a real threat. And I understand better than anybody with children, mental health is a terrible, terrible thing. But what about the mental health of everybody else? One kid is more important than those 20, those 40, those 80 kids? My daughter comes to school now every day going, Dad, what if? You're telling me to tell my daughter she's protected, she's okay. I'm telling her to be vigilant. You are not going to tell me you raise my kids better than I do. I promise you, you don't. Maybe you raise your own better, but people who know me know that I am 100% for my child. And I'm upset, I'm shaken. This is insane. How can you personally feel, this is directed to Superintendent Wiles, that it is not your responsibility to notify the public of the children who go to this school that this child's coming back? The only way that his name would be out there is if he spoke of it or the other kids spoke of it, and as much as it's his right for privacy, it's their right to tell us who. You have a responsibility not to one child, 1,000 childs. That's your responsibility. If something happens, this is on you. I pray to God it doesn't. Therapy works, but it's a process, huge process. I'm living proof my daughter is, okay? This is not acceptable, and it's not the end of it. It can't be, this can't be the end of it. Homeschooling works.
Thank you, sir. We're at our 3 minutes. Amber Wagner?
Okay, I'm Amber Wagner. My son is Cameron Wagner. He was on that list, and I think I spoke to you earlier this afternoon. It's definitely not right that he is allowed back in this school, and it's wrong for any of y'all not even to contact us or at least our children to let them know that he's back in this school. Like, it's not something to joke around about. You can't have somebody watching him 24/7 or anything like that. Like, if something happens to my kid, I promise you, I'm coming for this school. Like, it's not something to joke about. Like, and I'm pretty sure all these parents are up in here too, and they're gonna voice their opinions about that kid being back in school. Like, there's other options of schooling. Like, it's just unacceptable that our kids weren't even, you know, their feelings weren't even thought about or anything about that, let alone us parents. Like, that's all I gotta say. I mean, he decide it for himself, but.
Rosemary Harrigan?
Hi, I'm Rosemary Harrigan. I'm actually, my students are older than most of the parents here, so my kids are kind of past this point, but I live in Guilderland, and I have neighbors who are good friends and 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 years of age. and I'm scared to death for them. I taught secondary school for 39 years, and during the last 5 years of my teaching career, I was an advisor to the Board of Regents, and I had to deal with some pretty tough situations, and I do not envy you the position that you're in with trying to protect the rights of the young man, or I think it was a man, young man, that made these threats, and your unbelievably overwhelming responsibility to the safety of these children, and the horrible example we have of what happened so recently in a school on the first day of school. I depend upon you, and I would like to ask you if each of you believe in your heart that the school safety plan that you have put together will keep all of our children safe from this particular threat. Could anybody answer that for me? Do you feel confident in what, because I know you can't tell us. You're not allowed to answer? No, oh, that's right, you can't discuss. Yes, you don't go back and forth. Sorry about that. Yes, I understand. Sorry about that. I wasn't going to ask that question, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Bonnie Murray?
I'm Bonnie Murray. This is my husband, Brian Murray, and we had a child on the list as well. We had a restraining order placed, and that order has now run out, and we have nothing else to do because we can't get another restraining order, and I don't even know if it could protect him at this point, and that's where we're relying on the school to make the best judgment for the protection of my son, and we're very concerned about that. We're concerned about the plans that are put forth at this point, and that we hope that you consider them to protect everybody, and that they're going to be safe for all of the children in the school.
And one thing also is that we definitely find it very frustrating that we say that we have all these plans in place, but we can't get any details on them. I understand that we got to protect the privacy of the student and all the students that are affected, but there should be something that could be given to us to provide some sort of understanding of what you do have in place. It seems kind of ridiculous that we can get nothing out of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cameron?
Hi, I'm Cameron. I am 13 going on to 14. I was the one on the list. I believe I was number 21, and to be honest, I have no clue why I was put on the list. There was no reason given to me. And I just wanted to state my opinion on it. Yes, he does have his right to school. I get that. But knowing that he's inside of the school when I was put on the list for whatever reason whatsoever, I feel like that I'm not safe at all. Yes, he has two adults who are walking around with him 24/7, all day probably. Well, yeah, all day long. I believe that I still don't trust, and I don't trust the student. I don't trust him. I walked by him in the hall one time. I didn't say the name. I don't trust at all because he could slip away easily. He could just slip away. I don't trust it. I don't trust the safety plan at all. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. I have one to read, but I wanted to see if council has anything they can state regarding specific things that I think there's a perception the board can do.
If you'll excuse my back, because I think you probably want me to speak to these folks, and they probably want me to speak into this mic. Yeah, the lawyer always gets to be the bad guy, okay? We show that on TV and in movies and everything. The board, you need to know the following facts. The board knows a lot more about this than any of you, because they have to know, the superintendent knows and makes them fully aware. They are under very long-standing federal and state law not to talk about the specifics of a particular student, any particular student, even your students, out in a public way. And I guess the final thing is don't believe everything you read in the press, okay? It's not always accurate. Thank you.
Okay, and then we have a written public comment. Members of the Guilderland Board of Education, the safety and well-being of the children, staff, and administrators are at the forefront of our minds. With the recent events unfolding at Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia, the community members and parents of children in the Guilderland Central School District ask, how does Guilderland Central Schools plan on protecting not only the 20 children that were identified on the list, it says kill list, but all students and staff given the return of the adolescent who constructed the list? Furthermore, why was Guilderland Central School District negligent on sending proper notification to parents of the return of the child who constructed the list? Do we have any new public comments? Okay. Council, I do have a general question I'm hoping you can answer for the public. Homeschooling was mentioned. In general, is that something, that would be up to us?
I suspect you're asking me to answer this. As some of you may or may not know, a resident has an absolute legal right to attend school. You cannot force a student, except in very different circumstances, to go to homeschooling, for example, or in some other situation. So these are the laws of the state of New York. A child has a right to attend school unless they are in some other kind of circumstance, none of which applies here. So there are no other options.
What's the point in sitting here and trying to resolve this? You guys, I don't care.
He's talking, how to speak the truth. So you're coming
So-
to this child's, which I understand, his safety is a high concern. But if he didn't open his mouth to make that list, he would be in a situation. So now you put my daughter in a situation where her mental health, okay, are you gonna pay the bills? And I have to take care of this? What about everybody else? You're taking one student over 500. That is irresponsible on your part. You can talk all you want. It's irresponsible. If something happens to my kid, I promise you, I'm going to be living in the biggest house. I'm going to make y'all laugh at me because I'm going to shoot the hell out of you. I promise you that. That's irresponsible. And I guarantee it, some people here know my name, and they're going to defend my kid to the wall. I'm not trying to be a pain in the backside. This is disgusting. I feel bad for the kid of all people. I truly do. I know what mental health does to children. But I'll be damned if you're not going to sit here and be more concerned about the other kids. This is extenuating circumstances that you expel the child from the school district. You threw my daughter off a bus for smoking nicotine. And the other one to kick her out of school. But this kid can make a kill list and you're welcoming him back? Wrong. Shame on you. Shame on you.
If we have no more public comments, then we will move on to the consent items. Okay, so we have, this includes minutes from the August 13th meeting, CPSC and CSC recommendations, personnel action items, and financials. Can I get a motion to approve the consent items? Gloria, second Kelly. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
And before you move on, in that one motion, we have welcomed a new administrator to our team. Mackenzie Bullinger is here this evening. She is our new instructional administrator for math, science, and technology at Guilderland High School. Welcome, Mackenzie.
Okay, and next we have, let's see here, information items.
Yes, thank you. My first item is just to provide a brief update on the opening of the 2024-2025 school year. We are 4 days into the school year. Earlier today, we had a call with all of our school administrators checking in to see how the first 4 days of school went, and they were awesome. Our students came back eager to learn. Our teachers came back eager to teach. Routines are already established, and we're well underway for a great year. We did have bumps in the road, literal bumps in the road. I do want to report that the construction on Route 20 did have a significant impact on our transportation department, who has done an awesome job in spite of the fact that our main thoroughfare through the entire community is disrupted. But we're working through that, and hopefully the work will be done quickly. So I just want to thank everyone for their hard work getting the year started and for rising above any challenges that come our way. So we're off and running. And my second item is to recognize this wonderful woman, leader, teacher, educator, and advocate for our school district, Mrs. Judy Slack. This is her last board meeting after 16 years of selfless service to the likes of our school district. So Judy, I know I have nice things I should read, but then I'll say some more things, and I'm sure others will want to jump in. So on behalf of the board, we would like to thank Judy and recognize the years of service she has devoted, and that's the right word, to the Guilderland school community. Mrs. Slack was elected to serve in May of 2008 and has served 16 years on the board. She served on 3 of the board subcommittees, which include audit, business practices, and communications. She served as a PTA liaison to our schools during her years of service on the board. We'd like to thank her for her time and her service to the Guilderland community and students. And I just want to add, of all of Judy's many fine qualities, the one that stands out the most, to me anyway, is her commitment to each and every one of our children and the joy she brings to what is not an easy job as a member of the Board of Education. We deal with many very difficult, gut-wrenching decisions sometimes, and Judy is for the children and about the children, and you will be missed terribly. Thank you on behalf of all of us. Others want to chime in while
Gloria?
Well, I've had the honor of knowing Judy for, 30 years? 35 years? Yeah. 40 years. Long time. Our kids were in kindergarten together, and we've remained friends all these years. And I remember when I retired and I ran for the board, and she said, oh, maybe I'm going to be doing that too. And she retired and ran for the board. And it has been just a wonderful pleasure to every meeting or any committee meeting or whatever to sit next to her. And as Dr. Weil said, it's kids. It's all about kids when you talk to Judy. I mean, you just got to spend 10 minutes talking to her and you'll hear all about kids, even if it's our own kids sometimes or grandkids, which is a joy as well. So Judy, I'm going to miss you terribly. We'll just have to make another dinner night so that we get together and stay in touch. Well, we'll both stay in touch.
Okay.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
I'd like to say that I knew Judy as my friend's mom growing up, and it's been a pleasure now to be on the Board of Education with you, and you've very much been a mentor. In particular, I find you to be very organized and very level-headed, which I appreciate. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And also, you are deeply kind, which I appreciate, and I can sense that in every vote that you make. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm very sad to see you leave, Judy. Even though we'll see you since you live next door to my in-laws, but we could always count on Judy to have some sort of really, really interesting input or counterpoint that nobody really thought about. So, and a couple of good zingers here and there. You'd be surprised. She's fantastic, and you will really be missed. Thank you.
All right, before we go on, we have for Judy a beautiful plaque commemorating your 16 years of service.
Thank you.
So here, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to make you give me a hug because it's that important. Thank you so much. Everything here is crazy. Thank you.
I don't have
You guys
a
wanna-
picture of you taking a picture. Didn't work out. Camera's down. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on now to board president information. So we have the New York State Boards Association, the 2024 voting delegate guide, which you should all have. And so you received it by email on September 4th, and we will be voting on this in October. This guide contains a report of the Resolutions Committee as well as endorsements received by the deadline. A Google survey of the proposed resolutions have been prepared and shared with each board member to complete, which will be used by the Board of Education voting delegate. The results will be collected and shared at the October 1st board meeting. Board member Kim Blasiak is the voting delegate at NYSBA's annual business meeting, and Gloria Tohilt is the alternate, which will take place virtually this year on October 10th. If requested, at this time, we can discuss the proposed amendments and resolutions that will be voted on at the fall convention. Would anybody like to discuss any of those?
I just want to say one of our amendments is in the resolution.
Yes, we made it this year, yes.
Do you want to say what it is?
I can't remember the details of it. Has to do with the pre-K.
It's the pre-K lottery question.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for a while.
last year, we brought it forward to have it possible for school districts that have a wait list for their pre-K programs to have the option of having a weighted process for their lottery, so the most needy children have a better chance at getting a spot. It is going forward. Ironically, in case this is an important thing to point out, we no longer have a waiting list here in Guilderland because of the awarding of our expansion grant. We have actually been able to add 3 classrooms.
80 seats.
80 seats, which is 4 plus classrooms, and they are, everyone who wants a seat has one. So that's hats off to Mrs. Anderson, who put together that grant and was fortunate enough to bring that resource to us. But this resolution from NYSBA can very much help other districts.
Great, thank you. Any other?
Yeah, I have a question. There's something, I can't find it now on the document. So, a mixed competition? What does that mean, mixed competition? There's something about athletics and mixed competition?
Hold on. Oh, in the NYSBA thing? Oh, I don't have it open.
Is it one of the resolutions?
Yeah, it's in the
book?
resolution,
Resolution?
and I didn't know what mixed competition
22.
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know which one you're talking about.
I can't find the number now.
It's number
Where is it?
22. I just
22?
searched it.
Oh, right, yes, resolution 22.
I know which one it
Oppose the proposed amendments to sections 135.1, 135.4, and 135.5 of the Commission of Education's regulations related to mixed competition and extra-class athletic activities. And I don't know what that means. That's,
essentially what they're looking for is they do not want females that used to identify as a male to compete in the female athletics.
oh, I thought there was another one that spoke specifically to that.
There are a couple.
There's a couple of them? Oh, okay.
They're huge. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good questions, Tara, thank you.
One I remember.
Anything else? Okay, and so, let me move on to the second part. Oh, yes. Board of Education member vacancy, because Judy will be, has resigned. A press release announcing a board member vacancy for the period from October 1st, 2024 through May 20th, 2025 was sent out on August 19th. Letters of interest and resumes are due no later than September 13th, 2024. All interested candidates will be interviewed by the vacant seat, or for the vacant seat, on September 24th, beginning at 6 p.m. as part of a special meeting of the Board of Education. The successful candidate is expected to be appointed to the board at the October 1st meeting. So we do have a few folks interested, right? I think
We have three
Two.
letters.
three. We have three. If you are interested, please submit your information to us. It is very important work. It is not always easy work, but it is very important. Okay, and now moving on to Andrew, I think.
Thank you. I have 8 items for your consideration tonight. The first is a series of 7 service agreements for students with disabilities and students whose needs are best met through alternative education programs. They're all continuations of existing agreements.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the agreements? Hey, sorry, Katie, and then second Nina. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Passes 8-0.
Thank you. My next item is awarding private transportation contract bids. Recommendations to award them to Raja Group and Durham School Services.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the agreement? Gloria, second Kelly. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. My next item is awarding the bid for environmentally friendly ice melt. Recommendation is to award the bid to WB Mason Supply.
Okay, can I get a motion, please, to approve? Gloria, second Rebecca. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And I think it's passes 9-0, and I've been saying 8-0, right? Aren't there 9 of us here today? Sorry, I think I wasn't counting myself. So Linda, my bad. Everything is 9-0.
I think she's on it. My next item is an internship agreement with Utica University for classroom and in-district supervised experiences.
Okay, can I get a motion? Kelly, second. Nina? Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 9-0.
Thank you. My next item are general fund transfers, one from the 2023-2024 school year for bond payment to DASNY, and one from the 2024-2025 school year for transportation expenses.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept Kim, second Nina? Any questions, comments? Nope. All those in favor?
Aye.
9-0.
Thank you. My next item is an appropriation to reserve funds from the 2023-2024 school year, applying funds in excess of 4% unrestricted fund balance to reserves as outlined in the proposal.
Okay, a motion to accept. Kelly, second Gloria. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 9-0.
Thank you. My next item is a shared service agreement with the Greater Amsterdam School District for shared transportation services.
Can I get a motion to accept? Gloria, second Nina. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes 9-0. I couldn't tell if she was raising her hand.
Thank you. Finally, my last item is a donation of 10 backpacks filled with school supplies from Next Step Federal Credit Union, formerly known as School Systems Federal Credit Union.
Okay, can I get a motion? Tara, second Judy. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 9-0.
Thank you. I was reading something.
And thank you. Thank you for the donations of the backpacks. Okay, so now we're moving on to board president action. No?
You skipped me.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We're moving on to Marie.
I have 3 items this evening. The first is a resolution to approve the certification of qualified lead evaluator for building principals. This is known as APPR. And the resolution reads in part, be it resolved that Marie Wiles, PhD, is hereby certified as the qualified lead evaluator of building principals, having successfully completed the training requirements prescribed in the section of the law. And I won't read all the sections of the law.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Okay, Judy, second, Tara. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Passes 9-0.
My second item this evening is a resolution recognizing the certification of qualified lead evaluators for teachers, also under APPR, that reads in part, be it resolved that Michael Piscatelli, Michael Laster, Alan Lockwood, Christopher Sanita, Beth Beanie, Jacqueline Vandenberg, Stephen Wolf, and Lisa Knowles are hereby certified as qualified lead evaluators of teachers, having successfully completed the training requirements prescribed in law.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept? Gloria, second, Kelly. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 9-0.
And my final item is a request to approve a memorandum of agreement between the Guilderland Central School District and the Guilderland Employees Association that reads, be it resolved that the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools, Marie Wiles, to execute the proposed memorandum of agreement between the Guilderland Central School District and the Guilderland Employees Association.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the memorandum of agreement? Nina, second, Rebecca. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Passes 9-0. Okay, now we're on to board president action. First, we have the establishment of the Facilities Committee. Resolved that the Board of Education will establish a Facilities Committee for the purpose of making recommendations to the board for long and short-term improvements to our facilities, taking into consideration the work of the Future Ready Task Force that is currently underway. The committee will be composed of Board of Education members, district staff, and administrators, in addition to community representatives, and will be assisted by the architectural firm CS Arch. Can I get, we need to motion, right? Can I get a motion? Okay, Gloria, and second, Kelly. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 9-0. And so now we move on to Facility Committee appointments. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints the following members to the Facilities Committee for the purpose of making recommendations to the board for long and short-term improvements to our facilities. Can I get a motion? Katie, second, Rebecca. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And I'd just like to read the names, if that's okay. Sure. Me, Kim Blasiak, Anita Kaplan, Marie Wiles. I think, Anita, you're actually an alternate, correct? Marie Wiles, Andrew, Rachel, Cliff Nooney, Alan Lockwood, Mike Laster, Emily Minu, Gregory Clark, John Fatuzzo, Mary Toscano, Joshua Hughes, David Dwyer, Robert Widens, Michael Bastian, Julie Adamick, Deborah Sim, Ken Upanapadu Sula, and I apologize, Satnam Kaur, Nathan Sabrin, and Scott Tomlinson. Okay.
So Blanca, can I jump in? We're hoping
Yes.
that we can pick one of the following 2 Tuesdays in October to do the joint meeting we've been talking about, where our Future Ready Task Force subcommittees would present to the board and to the members of this committee. So the 2 Tuesdays that we have without an already scheduled board meeting, because this would be the only thing we do that night, are October 8th or October 15th. So we can do a doodle poll for all the people who Blanca just read in the board and see which one we get the best response. We could do that tomorrow. Would that work?
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll send that out tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. And I think we're just down to,
Sorry.
what are we down to? Board committee reports. Why don't we start with audit?
So we have not met since the last board meeting, and we do have a meeting scheduled for September 24th at 7:30.
Awesome, 7:30. Oh my goodness, okay. Business practices?
We haven't had a meeting, and from here, I don't know.
Okay. So who will be scheduling that now that Judy is retiring? Okay. Andrew?
Andrew,
I will,
And we need one.
Thank you.
Linda just volunteered you.
Communications committee?
We have not met, but we're working on setting a date.
Okay. DEI committee?
Don't we have a meeting?
25th, I think.
25th, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Has any components of DEI met yet this year? Steering committee?
The steering committee, that'll be the first one to meet to
Okay.
plan the meeting on the 25th.
Okay, thank you. And policy committee?
We're solidifying a date. It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay, great. Are there any other public comments, Linda? Emailed or in person? Okay. So now we move on to board issues, ideas, and sharing. Does anyone have anything they would like to say? Nothing? Why is it always just me? No? Alright. I just wanted to say that I've been enjoying the sports that our wonderful students participate in. I think it's great that we have a turf field now. Also, it's always busy. It's always buzzing around here. I would also like to say, though, I have noticed that we really could use some assistant coaches when our teams are playing teams that have assistant coaches. I feel like that is not as fair. So I just put that out there for your consumption. I know it's on our wish list, but I would like to say if you were to attend some of our sporting events, you would see that there is definitely a difference between the support that our coaches have currently and the folks we're competing against. So we have open houses coming out. I think we received an email today. Mike Piscatelli, what's the date for is it the 19th for open house? September 19th? Mike, last year, do you know off the top of your head? Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So the 8th, the 6th, and the 7th. Okay. Grade levels. Okay. So basically, keep checking your parent portal, or what is it called? The Parent Square for more information. And I was going to ask about DEI in terms of the climate survey. When will we be hearing anything about the climate survey?
Well, that's a very good question. So the building level equity teams have been working with the staff data since this summer. They will also be taking up the work with the student data. We were working on, it's a complicated story about connecting the demographics to the responses in a confidential, anonymous kind of way, which happened through technology. The DEI committee is going to be charged with working through the parent responses to the survey. So we'll be doing an overview of the data at the first DEI committee meeting and then talking about how that work unfolds over time.
Okay. Thank you. And so I'm assuming subcommittees like the student voice and such, we will discuss that at the first DEI meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Great. Anything else? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Kelly, second Rebecca. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you.